Will the market go up or down? Should you lock in or float? Find out this and more with Master of the Markets, hosted by Barry Habib of MBS Highway. Brought to you by Planet Home Lending. Secured by private equity, Planet Home Lending might just be the largest wholesale lender you've never heard of. Our competitive pricing opens the door, but we know it's our knowledgeable and accessible account executives who will make Planet Home Lending your first and last look on every loan.
Welcome to another edition of Master of the Markets. I'm Barry Habib at MBS Highway. This is great exclusively for Mortgage News Network and brought to you by our friends at Planet Home Lending. Their wholesale rates are out of this world. Hey, last week we did get the jobs numbers, and it was a better number than expected. Yet mortgage bonds didn't react too much. That's because mortgage bonds got roughed up a little bit earlier in the week, and we've seen a big rise lately. You know, we said that mortgage bonds were poised to move higher. Seems to be some underlying currents going on. If you think about the rise that we've seen in rates, this has been in the face of a weaker stock market, some real disturbing news from North Korea that they have a potential intercontinental ballistic missile that could reach Alaska, and some saber rattling that's been going on, saying the United States now may respond in a very strong way. These types of things would normally push mortgage-backed security prices higher, interest rates lower. It would be a help to the 10-year Treasury. Not to be. What does that tell us? It tells us that there's an underlying current move here that's kind of stronger than all this. Probably has a lot to do with yields rising in Europe. Remember, Mario Draghi started this whole move higher. We started to say that they're going to pretty much unwind some of this negative interest rate thought process, the quantitative easing that they're doing. And when that occurred, when it looked like yields were going to start moving higher in Europe, in the United States, they moved up in sympathy. We have seen that consistently move up. Remember, it wasn't that long ago, the 10-year Treasury yield hit 2.1. Remember, we said it had an outside chance to hit 2%. Well, it dropped all the way down, came all the way down to 2.1. But then after those comments from Mario Draghi, we've now seen that go from 2.1 to 2.4. That's 30 basis points in the 10-year. You know, looking at mortgage rates rise in that very short span between 1/4 and 3/8%, depending on how your pricing is. Now, I'll tell you what, if you were an MBS Highway subscriber, you knew because we had changed our bias early previous week, went into a locking bias ahead of all that upside move. Broken through some negatives, some really important places in the bond market as far as levels go. We've seen the 200-day moving average broken, some important ceilings broken. What does this mean for us here? Well, we've got to watch a few things. 2.385 on the 10-year Treasury is going to be an important line in the sand. We're currently above that, and unless the 10-year Treasury can move back underneath that level, expect rates to remain stubbornly higher here and potentially move higher still. Now, we got the jobs report, as I mentioned. That was a better report than normal. Bonds kind of stabilized. But if the stock market finds its footing and starts to move higher, especially after the jobs report during the course of this week, it's a light news week this week, we could find mortgage-backed securities and Treasury yields kind of in trouble here, where we see yields move higher and pricing move lower. This is a time for you to be very careful. We don't have housing news this week, although the housing news of late has been really strong. We expect that to continue. Look, this is about the toughest time to buy a home because demand continues to be really strong. Inventory is very tight, but those who persevere and can find a home or wind up getting one without having to pay too much over asking price or can pay around asking price will be very handsomely rewarded based on the future and the demographics of this. All right, hope you guys have a great week ahead. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
Feel the difference of what a decentralized operation makes. With account executives in your backyard and in your office, not hidden in a call center, we know what you and your borrower desires based on your market, and will be in your office helping you through every step of the way. Those are just a few of the differences our clients see every day with Planet Home Lending Wholesale.
This is Mortgage News Network.